Thank you for coming to Compass Starlight. This is going to be a reading for this coming week. Let's see what kind of energies the universe would like to bring into our lives. What kind of energies are, or subject matters, or things from which we can grow further. We have this first card from the Mantegna deck. Fameo, card number 2, the Servant. This next deck here is the Moon and Stars Tarot. As usual, I have shuffled the cards prior to recording. Let's see what the tarot would like to speak to us for this coming week. We have a few cards here. Temperance. The Nine of Wands. And the King of Cups. Anything else? Oh, it does not appear to be so. And then we have an oracle card, oracle deck, the Starseed Oracle. Where could we focus our attention, our energy, and Child of the Cosmos? Lovely. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. The Servant, card number 2. Card number 14, Temperance, healing. Nine of Wands, fear. King of Cups, support. And Child of the Cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. Life is a journey. It is always a journey. We don't ever seem to reach our destination until our life terminates. Until then, we are always learning and growing, finding new experiences, new wisdom, sometimes even new feelings to explore. Every experience, every place we visit brings something new into our lives from which we can learn. The protagonist of the Temperance card is constantly mixing an elixir, trying to find a balance in the fluid from the two cups, mixing the contents of both cups to find balance in the finished product. And this flow of fluid is like the path of our lives, and it is never complete. It is a constant mixture. Is it ever fully mixed? There's a give and take, a push and pull. There's attraction and repulsion. In identifying that which we do like, we express ourselves to the universe. In identifying that which we do not like, we express to the universe that which we would prefer to experience more or less. The Temperance card shows us trying to find a balance, walking the path, rowing the boat through the water, moving in a direction, never knowing where the path takes us, just going with the flow. And yet there is doubt and fear for not knowing the answer, not knowing what lies around the bend, whether there are creatures in the darkness, whether there are monsters in the shadows. Will we be surprised? Will we react? Will we have the wherewithal and the strength to respond as we move around the bend? Will the waves rock us from the boat? The King of Cups suggests security and stability amongst those waves, should we encounter them. The King of Cups is able to maintain his stability of emotion. He is able to stay balanced and grounded to a degree in his emotions, with his emotions. He knows where to let them show, where to make himself vulnerable. He also knows where to hold fast, how to hold tight. He is used to being swayed by the waves, and yet knows how to go with the flow, how to move with the tides, how to move with the currents. He has the confidence and emotional fortitude. He has the ability to control himself so that he does not let fear sway him off course. If you're in a boat on an ocean, you're not really sure. I could say if you're on a boat in any waterway and you're not really sure as you move along in the dark where exactly you are, different landscapes transform in the shadows of the darkness, and yet we are guided by the stars. And when the clouds cover our view of the stars, we lose sight of the security of knowing where we are or where we are going. And that is when fear steps in. But the King of Cups trusts himself. He trusts the flow. He trusts that he will know how to navigate by the stars when the clouds disperse. He trusts his knowledge. He trusts his wisdom. He trusts his intuition. He trusts his faith. This is the story I am picking up from the Moon and Stars Tarot on the table. Now we have two other cards. We have the Servant from the Mantegna Tarot. The Servant, interestingly, is an archetype for dependency. The card, the Servant, says always be kind, but not subservient. It seems that that is the role of the servant. But we are being called to be independent, to serve ourselves. The servant puts the needs of his master first. He is dependent on his master for a decent quality of life. He depends on his master for a roof over his head. He depends on his master for food on the table. Where are you sacrificing your freedom of choice by allowing to have your freedom oppressed by a master? Where are you giving up yourself, your desires, your dreams, so that you can fit in to a role expected of you by others? The servant is expected to serve a master. That is the role. But in doing so, he forfeits his freedom he forfeits his dreams, his desires, his hopes, his ambitions. They all fall to the wayside as the priority is serving the master. And the reason one would make such a drastic sacrifice of oneself is for the benefit it would bring to the life of the individual. Traditionally, the servant has the protection, the food, and the roof provided by the master. But you are being asked to step outside of the shelter of the master and to create this for yourself, to let go of fears and doubts, and to follow and pursue that which is in your heart, to follow and pursue your passions, pursue your ambitions. These cards suggest that you have the power to follow through, to see through any projects or transitions into which you are currently investing your time and your energy. This card is asking you to serve yourself so that you can be independent of a master, to be independent of the influence of thoughts and judgments of others. You are the judge. You find security in that path, in that passion, in that enthusiasm for the path you are choosing to follow your dreams. Be kind, but not subservient. This reminds me of a phrase I heard sometime in the last year. I am not here to sacrifice myself on the altar of your expectations. This card asks that we stand up in a similar fashion for ourselves. We stand up for ourselves to free ourselves from subservience, where the expectations of others overlay their rules, their regulations, their small boxes onto our lives, that we are expected to live life in a certain way. We are expected to adhere to certain social demands and expectations. We are being asked to free ourselves from those demands, because our life is not to be sacrificed by somebody else's expectations. What do you expect for yourself? What do you believe you can achieve? This servant has an enormous cup in his hands. Within this cup are his greatest wishes, desires, passions, and ambitions. He could carry it around and drop it. He could drink from that cup. Set yourself free from subservience by following your passions and your ambitions. Free yourself from the life of the servant. The only master, the only one whom to call master is yourself. You have worked so hard to become the master. You have worked so hard to find your power, to let go of that which no longer serves you, to let go of all that holds you back and ties you down. This journey has been about you finding yourself. You have worked through all of this transition. You have done healing, introspection, simply so that you could become the master, so that you could take hold of that power the power over yourself, and be autonomous to move in your own direction with confidence. Child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. There's a mysterious force that governs all of life, an intelligence that tells flowers when to bloom and the tides and seasons when to come and go. That intelligence is within you, too. It was there before you drew your first breath, and it will be there well beyond your last. It's the part of you that informed every cell what to do when you were in your mother's womb. It's harder to resist this force than it is to surrender to it. Because Earth is a planet of polarity and free will, it's easy to forget that this intelligence exists within us. So often we become disconnected from this pulse of life and fall into the pattern of believing that we're separate or feeling that we need to go it alone. We can feel isolated and as if we need to figure things out for ourselves, to rely on our own strength. You're being called to remember the intelligence that's within each and every one of your cells, to remember that you're a precious child of a loving, gentle universe, that you have access to all of the intelligence, wisdom, strength, flow, and qualities there ever were, are, or will be. And to remember that if flowers know exactly when and how to bloom, then so do you. The Starseed Soul Inquiry asks, how can you surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life? I would suggest that you can surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life by accepting your power, by embracing the strength and fortitude of who you are, embracing the qualities of the King of Cups, having that strength and resilience, knowing yourself. The King of Cups has stability. He has self-control. He's honest. He's sincere. He is open-hearted. He asks you to find your own self-control, and in that, your own stability. In this, you can find a way to relieve yourself of subservience. He asks you to trust yourself, that you have the ability to open up and to be compassionate and to be mindful of yourself and those around you. You have the strength and the wisdom to open up, while also you have the wisdom, experience, and discernment to know how much of yourself to make vulnerable, how much of yourself to give. In knowing yourself, you can find your boundaries. The King of Cups asks you to be aware of your intuition. Today, for the week here, in this reading, I am going to break out this Visconti deck. Let's get some clarification on this message. Is the message clear? What else could we confirm or affirm for ourselves as for moving forward? Ideally with confidence and trust in the path that we are taking, in the choices we are making. And one more. Just didn't feel quite right. That's better. Yes, it does feel a little bit like a magic trick. But there is no sleight of hand, I promise. Oh, we have one card. King of Pentacles. That is quite a bit of strength and stability. What other messages could we apply to the messages that we've received already from this reading? Other cards that would like to come out. Strength. I feel like strength was implied. Strength was implied in this reading. Strength to move forward. Even though we may not feel like the elixir is finished being mixed. Strength to break free from the illusions and impositions of others. We have two other cards that flipped out here. I believe this is the Eight of Swords. Yes, I mean the Ace. The Ace of Swords. Clarity and truth. And we also have the High Priestess. Yes. The intuitive knowing. Do you know what you're doing? I'm not going to ask you to answer that question. For one, this is a recording and you can't answer back unless you post it in the comments, which you're welcome to do. But it's really a rhetorical question. Do you know what you're doing? Of course you know what you're doing. Do you want to tell anybody? Well, you don't have to. So there's no need to push on that subject. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know that with this sword of clarity, you are defining your own pathway through the jungle, your own pathway to your destination? Where is that destination? Well, you won't know until you find it. But are you moving in the right direction? I would suggest that you know that you are. You are trusting in the divine plan. You are trusting Source. You are communing with Source. Trust that you have that wisdom within you. Trust that you are moving in the direction of things that are meant to uplift you, excite you, arouse passion within you. Trust that you are able to achieve your ambitions if you only continue walking on that path, if you only pursue those passions, if you follow your heart won't lead you astray. The King of Cups suggests that you follow that heart. The King of Pentacles offers you the stability along with the Strength card, the stability and the strength with each step as you follow your heart, following your intuition, as noted with the High Priestess. The clarity. Let go of the fears and the doubts. Trust that you know what you are doing. Reject the outside influences that feel their own fears because you are doing something different for yourself, because you are making different choices for yourself. Do not be subservient to their opinions, to their fears, to their own insecurities and weaknesses. Who are you? You have that clarity. You have the clarity of knowing and trusting in the divine plan, of trusting your own path as you forge it ahead of you. That is the message for the week ahead. It feels like a big message. I hope you enjoy the message. Thank you for coming to Compass Starlight.